This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Vinny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome to this week's edition of Paradise, Louisiana. I'm Gary Risponi. It's a cool Paradise, Louisiana, cool morning on a Monday. Veterans Day. Let me tell you, right here in the middle of Veterans Day, I went to a couple of Veterans Day things at my church. It was beautiful. We got to keep them in our memory and our prayers. Not only all the veterans that are still living out there, but especially the ones that lost their life, and it affects their families forever and ever. I really enjoyed the way they did a Veterans Day celebration in my church. They went through all of the different divisions of the veterans or the war people that fought the wars. They had them all. They asked them to stand up. They packed the church, and they played their song. You know, it went from the Navy song to the Marines to the Army. It was just very touching. So, and let's dedicate this whole weekend, especially today. Tomorrow's really the actual Veterans Day. This is Monday the 10th. So I want to mention, I had my hat that a veteran gave me, and I couldn't find it. You don't see me wearing a cap much on TV, but I wanted to do it special today. So we got a good fishing report again, and we're going to visit Chaz again. And we got some news items that I'm going to start off and talk about them even before the fishing report, because very important that you know what's coming on. And we got a winner, CCA winner, the winner of the truck. So we'll talk about it later on. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana from Pelican Studios here on Florida Boulevard.
Peyton Murphy. I trust him.
Very respectful.
Very professional.
Reliable.
Very knowledgeable.
You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Choosing the right lawyer is an important decision. Visit murphylawfirm.com or call me, Attorney Peyton Murphy, 928-8800.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Peyton Murphy. I trust him.
Very respectful.
Very professional.
Reliable.
Very knowledgeable.
You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Choosing the right lawyer is an important decision. Visit murphylawfirm.com or call me, Attorney Peyton Murphy, 928-8800.
One more time, welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, and I'm going to mention our veterans, all our armed forces, how they still keep us free right now with everything going in the world. Actual right now, the people that are still serving right now, we want their blessings and God's blessing on them and their families. Now, some of the news items, the big news items is our truck winner, CCA truck winner. Her name is Donna Aubert. She's from Battery. Congratulations. There you see her truck, and you should see her pretty soon. Another news coming from the Gulf Council. They recommending that the venting tubes stay in effect, and descending tubes, the venting tubes, y'all should know everything about that. when you're getting your offshore permits and you got to keep track. You ought to still be going to the wildlife and fisheries and seeing what seasons are opening and whatever is going on and what's the new regulations on size and anything. Keep abreast of that. It's even hard for me. And I get them sent to me from CCA, and I get them sent from me from the wildlife and fisheries. And what I got to do is remember to jot them down on my pad so I can talk about it. I'm trying to see if there's any more news. Let's see. If I do, I'll come back and talk about it later. Some of the events are coming up. Another good one is the Katakai Alumni Sporting Clays. It's going to be at Bridgeview on the 14th of November. I think the sign-in is 7:45. They still have some openings, and that's usually a fun day, a lot of food, and a lot of camaraderie. So that's coming up this coming weekend on the 14th. Now, I'm going to say that for Spillway and see what else we got fishing. That's it. As far as the news. When later on we're going to go look at Chaz and see what he's got. And then when we come back, I got the Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana. Pelican Studios here on Florida Boulevard.
Peyton Murphy. I trust him.
Very respectful.
Very professional.
Reliable.
Very knowledgeable.
You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Choosing the right lawyer is an important decision. Visit murphylawfirm.com or call me, Attorney Peyton Murphy, 928-8800.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Look at that one, he tattooed it. Last episode we discussed hard bait season, and as it gets cooler and cooler, which it's slowly doing this year, the more those trout grow up and the more they want to hit this. Now this is a pretty nice one right here. But we're probably going to catch a good bit of throwbacks today, as it's still not cold enough for it to be pure keepers, but we're looking for a handful of these. And what I like to do is get in these man-made canals, water sky high still, and fish it real tight to wherever they still have some grass, some marsh grass where the houses aren't built. So you can see that grass right there on that dock, and that's what they like to hide in. So these fish, they hide up in that flooded marsh grass, so I'm throwing it real tight to it, and I rip it, pop, pop. Oh, there he is. Look how close that fish was to that marsh grass. I mean, it is close. That one's close to 13 inches. Definitely a keeper. A couple years ago. What you think, Nala? Simba ain't been wanting to go fishing lately. Here, give him a little kiss, Nala. Let that one go. Yeah, there you go. But what they do is they hide up in that marsh grass, that flooded marsh grass, and they do this for a couple weeks out the year until some pretty decent cold fronts come through. And once the big cold fronts come through, they'll come off the drop-offs. We'll typically catch those with a jig head, but until then, they're real tight. They're shallow, or maybe they're off the first drop looking up into the grass. I guess all the bait's buried up in that marsh grass. And you just gotta keep working all this grass and try to catch enough fish to where you weed through enough throwbacks to get to the keepers. Save a lot of gas money. Very effective and fun place to fish. And as it gets colder, the less throwbacks you'll get, like this one, and more keepers you'll get, like we started the video off with. Watch them treble hooks on these little guys. The good news is there's plenty of fish in here, it looks like. So it's not gonna be long and it'll be limits coming out of here when these little guys grow up or the females move in. Let me get some pliers to get on this one. There's a good one. There's a keeper. You just never know. I mean, you'll catch a 9 or 10 incher and then get a 18 incher. This is a solid 16 incher right here. Yeah, baby. Come on. Come on. Stay button. Stay button. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Matrix minnow, baby. That's a good fish. What we got, Nala? That's a good one right there. That's what we're looking for. A handful of these. But as it gets colder, they all start looking like this. And I like to get out here early in the morning, get some of these on top water. And get away from the shore. I don't want to spook them. But that's what we're doing, guys. Right there, working these matrix minnows, suspended, throwing up in like 1 foot of water and working it out to about, I don't know, 8 foot or so, and then I'll pause it. Sometimes they'll hit that sucker right when it's paused. All right, so what you want to do is focus on shorelines of grass. Go right up in the grass, and it's twitch, 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 pause it, let it set. Twitch, 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 pause it. A lot of times they'll straighten all your slack out when it's paused, just sitting there. And what that matrix minnow does, when you pause it, it just slowly, slowly sinks. So I like to also pause it. A, they like it like that. But B, when you come off that shallow, grassy stuff and you pause it, you're letting it get down to a little bit deeper water. As I'm throwing in, there he is. Just weed through these little ones. Weeding through the little one. Look at that little feller. I mean, you talk about a brave soldier there. He's trying to eat something half the size of him. Tell me, if this little fish, if that little fish would try to eat that, what would a 7-pound trout try to eat? But when I pause it, it's letting it sink down and go down the water column a little bit more. But I like fishing these matrix minnows and rip shad, jerkbaits in general on sunny days. What I find is all of that erratic motion, I think the sun reflects off this lure and really gets those fish's attention. Oh, is this a keeper? I either got him foul hooked or he's a decent one. Let's see. Let's see. He was right on the bank. What we got? Oh, that's why he's fighting. The heart of a redfish, boy. They like Rocky. It's amazing. This little thing ain't but 11, 12 inches long, and they fight harder than a 19-inch trout. Beautiful golden fish, though. I got a little grass patch like this by my dock, by my house where we keep this boat. And I've been casting off the dock every afternoon with the kids. And I just throw it right up tight to the grass, same thing we're doing now. And hook one and let my little kids reel it in. They love it. But it's a little bit of a tough cast to make. I usually make the cast for them. Because when I tell you these, if you miss that grass by a few inches, or a foot, they're not there. I mean, they are really, especially on a flood tide like this, caused by a lot of east winds, they are right in that grass. And as you can see, up here we're running out of grass. So when I finish this drift on this grass, we're just gonna move over and fish another grassy shoreline. All right, just ran out of grass right there, so we're just gonna simply idle over. It doesn't really matter where you try this technique with the matrix minnow, just make sure there's some grass and vegetation. And you can do this all over the bayous, anything on the North Shore. In the fall, the trout push up in there, Bayou Lacombe, Bayou Liberty, Lake Shore, Gohagen's Canal, Salt Bayou, Eden Isles has some. And I like this matrix minnow. It's got a little lip here. Now this bait is a little bit light, so make sure you got light line or a good rod. If you're not very good with a bait caster, just simply throw it with a spinning rod. But this is what we're looking for here. Look, here's my depth finder. We're definitely marking a lot of stuff on the bottom. Although we're not fishing the bottom, but right here's the key. 80 degrees. We want to fish this technique anywhere from like 70 to 80 degrees. We're kind of like right in the beginning of it. That's why we're catching so many throwbacks. As that water temp gets around 72, 74, it'll be 80% keepers rather than...
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. Uh-huh. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
Peyton Murphy. I trust him.
Very respectful.
Very professional.
Reliable.
Very knowledgeable.
You can't ask for nothing better than that.
Choosing the right lawyer is an important decision. Visit murphylawfirm.com or call me, Attorney Peyton Murphy, 928-8800.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, in the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. I'm gonna start off with when some of them captains that are always showing up. Captain Mike, him and his daddy Larry, and Chris Roberts, and them captains over there, they fish out of Wrigley's, they fish out of Point, they fish out of Lake Catherine, Island Marina. They all doing well. You know, I haven't talked to Dudley and Mike Gallo, but hearing from other people and then seeing on Facebook, the fish are just turning on right now. That cool weather. The only trouble right now in the Pontchartrain area, they happen to caught a few. It's usually, and then another day they got all big trout, and they're still catching them off the bridge. And Captain Mike was telling me that they fishing, not only fishing this live shrimp on a Carolina rig, but they're using drop shot rig. And off the bridge, they fishing. He was telling me, like he said, in a little bit deeper water. They're also still catching some white trout, and the white trout are starting to run bigger. Now they had some trouble with small trout, and then they go to somebody else, and they still catching some of them World Series trout. They want to call them. And then if you look on Facebook, you see some of these captains, they just nothing but big trout. Redfish, they still catching sheephead. They're catching a real thing, like I call it a smorgasbord. They're catching, and you can make sure you bring in some fish home to eat, and that's very important too. Now, let me look at this thing real good, because my good friend and my veteran Tom LeBlanc and Coach Cesar Garcia, they still going down there. They're having good days and bad days. One day they don't go, but they're covering a multitude of spots. They're running all over and looking for their trout in their normal places. They've been running in the shrimpers. They're not bad mouthing the shrimpers because that's their livelihood. but it does affect the areas they've been catching fish. Sometimes they muddy it up, and they taking that bait out of the water to some of the things. But they've been able to run to different places. Let me name some of the places he wrote right here. He says, let me see right here, called Baylor Foosh. They went to Stone Island, and in some of the normal places they've been fishing, and they went to it the last minute, and when they got to the final count, they had, I think they had 15 keeper trout and one big flounder. So thank you for your reports, Captain. I still would like to get y'all one day at my camp, and so y'all won't have to worry about getting up in a trailer or whatever. My camp is still up for sale, but it's still usable. And if you know anybody looking for a place, I tell y'all again, I'm right there in Slidell. I'm on Salt Bayou, and they're catching so many fish in the lakes and all of the bayous around there in the marsh. Off of my pier, I talked to my neighbor. He's fishing. Sometimes he goes at night under the light. They catching striped bass, or I call them white bass, boarfish. They've been coming from a bunch of different places. I'll talk about it later. Same thing in the spillway. But 7 species of fish off of my dock, plus crabs and shrimp when they're running. And I've been hearing, I've been eating a few crab people have been sending me. They're beautiful, they're full. And so now's the time. I know down in Grand Isle, okay, I heard some rumors that they catching them. The most of the fish is still caught back, Fouchon, back in the back, and all those areas that they fish. Normally this time of year, when I had my lease, back in the Harrison lease, from the 1st of November, okay, until all the way to really, really cold weather around Christmas. In fact, that was our stay. We used to go there for the Thanksgiving holidays and even up in the Christmas holidays. It was a good time to take your kids and your grandkids, and especially when they're out of school and they're not hunting. Now, let me go back a little freshwater now. Spillway, this is all hearsay. Now, I saw in the other day that Chief Dunn, I don't know who he was with. You know, he's a catfish master in the river and everything. But he he had a picture on Facebook, and I was looking at his smorgasbord again. He had some boarfish, white bass, had some yellow bass. I don't know if you know, they got stripes on them, but a little smaller and a little more yellow tint to them. And you look in that picture, and you'll see that on Facebook. He also had a few sac-a-lait and bass. So then also another good place, I'm talking about big fish, fishing deep, is Old River. Now, Mr. Salters ain't sent me that, but this comes from some people. I run to them in Tony's, and they was telling me, hey, we still catching fish at Old River. So Toledo Bend, wide open, big bass, they catch them. You can go to their website, and they see the water stages, the lake stages, and where they fishing and what they catching. So always go there and check them, Toledo Bend. Coming close to the holidays right now, there's a lot of events and festivals going on in Toledo Bend. Now, my other report right now is ducks. Let me tell you what, some of my people have been working on their blinds. I didn't hear anything from Mike Benz yet, but I know all the people are going out there making sure the ladies ain't take over the blinds. They got some of them places they got low water, but the best trips are coming from Whiteville all the way up and down Highway 61. They've been back up there. They catching. When they're going out there, they seeing ducks. They're all excited. And nothing from the Southwest yet, but as soon as I get them, I'm going to do it. But you can just check on these guides. You can call them and tell you, and they're usually going to tell you the truth. I'm looking forward to going with Mike Benj and him. I used to go there early in the year with him and make a trip. My health is a lot better. I ain't been in excruciating pain. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, all the people that has mentioned me in your prayers. So that's it. Now, talking about prayers, Alan went through another operation, still in the hospital in New Orleans right now. Been needing prayer. He's been going through something just unbelievable. He's fighting, and he's a trooper. And as soon as he's here, he's taking care of business. We got to thank God that we got Marty sitting over there on the front of that camera, and he's always taking what we're doing. As far as our football teams, you know, we got to keep watching. We just can't get over the hump. But that's another one. You know, when we're talking about praying, we're praying that they be successful. We're praying that their livelihood, the main thing is being safe. If you're watching TV right now, the pros, how many quarterbacks and how many top players are hurt, out for weeks? You know, I don't care if you're talking about pro basketball, whatever. You know, it's tough, especially the Southeastern Conference. It's unbelievable. I guess y'all don't want to hear that anyway, but the fishing report is looking good. And I tell you, the storms have been staying away. There's a lot of people waiting for this cold weather. You know, you wake up one morning here in Louisiana, and it's got frost, and then the next day, a couple of days later, you look and the sun's shining, and it's going up to 80 degrees. I remember when you run dogs, you rabbit hunt, squirrel hunt. You see them dogs, boy, they're ready barking to get out. Pretty soon you're out there hunting. 10 o'clock, you got to go make sure they got water, whatever, because it ain't got warm. So follow that. Follow Chaz. Thank you again, Chaz, for all you do for us in your reports. Y'all captains, remember, Gary at ParadiseLouisiana.com, lowercase, and I'll promise to get it on and speak to us. You can even put your clients' names. I know they like to see themselves on TV, and I love getting those reports. So one more time, God bless Louisiana. Hey, don't forget our veterans. We'll see y'all next week, if the good Lord's will.
This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, Demco, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.